Okay, this is 7th grade math scale drawings, which would be the next section in chapter, what, 4? 5, I think, okay? So, I want to show you how to do this. You're going to use scale drawings. I'm going to put this up here and then change it here in a minute. Oh, Patrick, I was wrong on that. Can you go back and switch the lights on that? Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about scale drawings. So you need your notes out for just a few seconds. So get those out real quick. Okay. In life, we have certain things that we use to give us a blueprint of what we're talking about. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a blueprint on a house, or a map, but they have what they call a scale. Okay, and a scale might be, well, in this case, the scale drawing is 1 inch is over 12 feet. Now they write it as a ratio, but it's actually this. Okay. Now, if it's 1 inch over 12, we can think of it as 1/12, but we've got to remember that inches are on top and feet are on bottom. I can switch that around if I want, but I don't need to. Okay. That means for every inch on the picture, it means 12 feet in real life. Do you understand that, Olivia? So there's a little picture that has inches, and then it converts to actual feet in real life. Okay? So, for example, let's say that on the picture I had 7 inches. Okay? I had 7 inches, right? In real life, then, I would do that as 1 over 12 equals. Now, I want you to guess. Do you think the 7 goes on top or on bottom?
Top.
Why?
Because it's inches.
All right, inches stay on top. Do you see that? Feet go on bottom. So what goes on bottom?
1.
No,
184.
it goes X. Correct? All right, you did that already. All right, so let's. We don't know what goes on bottom, right? So Chloe is correct. I cross multiply, I get 1 times x equals 7 times 12. And 1 times x is x, and 7 times 12 is 184, I believe. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the label on that?
Feet.
Feet. So what that means, Patrick, is that there's 7 inches on the picture, and in real life, that's 184 feet, right? Now, I can change the scale. For example, I can do a blueprint, and I can say, okay, what would happen is every 3 inches is 25 feet. Okay, that's a new scale, isn't it? Now, this is not the scale that you're going to be using on the worksheet. This is actually the scale. I'm just showing you that we can change the scale. Now, the question is how many is 15 inches? Okay? And so I would set that up into a proportion, wouldn't I? All right? Olivia, I would go what? My scale is what?
15 over.
No, my scale. Here's my scale.
Outside times it.
Olivia, what's my scale? Here's
3 inches.
3 over what?
25 feet.
All right, 25. And I don't want to put the labels because they'll only confuse me on this, okay, Olivia? All right, and I put another fraction. Where does the 15 go? This is what I'm looking for. Where does the 15 go?
On top.
It goes on top, right? Because it's inches. So what goes on bottom?
25.
Nope,
X.
x. All right, now we cross multiply. We have 3 times x equals 25 times 15. Is that correct? All right, so we have 3x equals, what's 25 times 15? I'm allowing you to use calculators, so if you pop out a calculator.
375.
375?
Yeah. Correct.
Alright, now what do I do?
5 equals 3x.
X equals.
What operation's being applied to the variable, Thad?
Multiplication.
What do I use to undo it?
Division.
What do I divide by?
3.
Alright, on both sides, correct?
Yeah.
What is 375 divided by 3?
125
125
inches.
Nope.
3 feet.
feet. Okay, alright. Now, let's take the same problem. We're still going to use this scale, correct? Alright, but my next question is, how many inches on the paper is 250 feet? How many inches on the paper is 250 feet? So how would I set this up, Patrick? I'd use my same scale. So what's my scale?
So you put a line above it and
What's my scale, Patrick?
feet,
What's my scale?
inches.
No, guys, the scale is this. 3/25. If you don't know that that's a scale, you need to put a mark around it and put, this is my scale. Alright, 3/25. Alright, where does the 250 go? Patrick, does it go on top or does it go on bottom?
Bottom.
Because that's feet. What goes on top, Patrick?
X.
I cross multiply, and I have 3 times 250. Remember, it's the cross product rule, right? The cross product rule, the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. So I take 3 times 250 equals 25 times x. My x is on the right side now, correct? What's 3 times 250?
750.
750? Alright, how do I solve for x?
You write 350 equals 25 times x. Again,
Alright? And I divide by what?
25.
25. Thank you, Chloe. And I get x equals what?
30.
30 what?
30 inches.
Inches. Alright? Do you understand that, Thad?
I thought the 250 was feet.
It was. And so we're looking for inches because that's the unknown,
Oh.
is in the inches.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, now folks, you see this? We have a tennis court to start with. The first 6 problems are about a tennis court, aren't they?
Yep.
Alright. Okay? So it says, what is the length of the entire tennis court, correct? Alright. Now, we know that the scale, here's the scale right here. See where my finger's at? The scale is 1 inch equals 12 feet, correct? So, I gotta do this off to the side. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Can you see everything? Alright, so I got, my scale is 1 inch is 12 feet, correct? Alright, so I take my ruler, correct? Because I want to know what the actual length of the tennis court is. So I'm going to measure it. See how I measure? I put it up there. See the tennis court? Now, if you go clear down, now this stuff here just shows you the single court and the double court, right? But if you look here, here is the end of the tennis court right here. So how big is that?
6 and 1/2.
6 1/2 inches, which is 6.5, isn't it? Okay, where does that go? On this fraction. Where does the 6.5 go?
On top.
It goes on top. You want to tell me why again?
Is inches.
Because inches are on top, correct? What goes on bottom?
X.
X. Alright. So now I cross multiply using the cross product rule. 1 times x is x. Can I just put x then? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And I take 12 times 6.5, correct? So I get x equals what?
78.
Point? Or is it even?
It's even.
It's 78, and my label is what?
Feet.
Feet. You understand that, Olivia?
So it's feet because,
Because you're finding the actual length of the tennis court. Okay? So if you went out down to the park and found the actual length of the court, with this scale it'd be 78 feet long. Okay? Alright. Take a look at this one. It says, what is the width of the singles court? The singles. Take a look down here. It shows you the singles. So now I'm going to do width, correct? So I'm going to come down here. Come down here. And I'm going to do the width of it, right? So I'm going to measure the width. What's the width? And we want to get it to the nearest. What does it look like?
2 1/4.
I got 3.
I think it's 2 and
1/4.
no. No, here's 2.5 right here.
Yeah.
Here's 2.5, so it's bigger than a half. I'm gonna put, let's put 2 3/4, 2.75. Do you remember, Emma, how big that was?
No,
Singles, right? So I'm gonna go here. My ruler's not real great.
I think it's 2.25.
No, 2.25 is right here. Oh, I'm looking at, oh, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm looking at this line. You're right. Patrick, way to stick to your guns. It's 2.25. It's right here. Isn't it? Thank you, Patrick. So this would go 1/12, and where would the 2.25 go?
on the top.
It would go on the top. Okay? Alright. The other one I wanted to talk about on this particular one, the top 6, is the net. Because it says, what is the height of the net? Here's the net here. Okay? Look at the net. And they got the net going sideways so you can actually measure the height of it. That's probably not right. But how big is that net? How long is that net?
1/4.
I would say 0.25.
I think it's 0.25. It's 0.25. So write that down, number 5. Write down 0.25 so you know the height of the net. Now you got to put that, you got to use a proportion on that, Olivia. So you're going to go 1/12 equals 0.25 over x, right? Right, Olivia? Okay. Okay, let's continue on then. 7 through 12 does not use this tennis court. Dad, please do not do that. Let's pay attention, all right? Okay? So 7 through 12 does not use this tennis court. It uses this scale right here. 1 inch equals 800 feet. So Chloe, we start every problem by saying 1/800. You understand that? Every problem 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, correct? And then on number 7, where does the 1,200 feet go, Chloe?
On the bottom.
On the bottom. And what goes on the top?
X.
All right. Do you see that? So do we use a picture for that?
No.
Do we use a ruler for that?
No.
All right. Okay, so let's take a look now at the end here. 13 through 14. Okay, 13 through 14. It says, if a classroom measures 20 feet, I'm putting it on the board, 20 feet by 32 feet, okay? What are the dimensions of the room on the scale drawing? Okay, they tell you right here in the directions, the scale is 1 inch is 8 feet. Guys, you're going to have 2 answers for this. You're going to find the width and you're going to find the length. So we go 1/8 equals
X over, no.
Yeah,
x over
32.
20. That would be my first one, and I would figure that out. I would do that work, correct?
Mhm.
And then what's my second one? It'd be 1/8 equals
X over 32.
32, and then I would do that work. So I would have 2 answers down here, right? And they're going to be labeled in inches, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? How many inches by how many inches, right? So I'm gonna have an answer here and an answer here. You got it? Okay, you do the same thing on 14. It also has 2 answers, all right? Okay, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? This worksheet, I would like it done by tomorrow. You have about 15 minutes to work on it, okay? All right. Get to work.